Ladies, there comes a time when you've done everything right, yet you're sitting there wondering why he hasn't picked up that phone, why he hasn't sent that text, why he's gone silent like you don't exist. It's frustrating, it's confusing, and it makes you question yourself. But let me tell you something, this silence isn't always about you. Sometimes it's about the shift you haven't made within yourself. This message today is not about chasing a man. It's about becoming a woman so grounded, so powerful, and so magnetic that he has no choice but to call you, to text you, to show up and take action. Because when you change the energy you're giving out, everything around you changes, including him. Know your worth. Stop waiting by the phone. The first thing you need to understand is this. Your value doesn't decrease just because someone doesn't see it right now. Too many women sit by the phone, checking it every 5 minutes, wondering why he hasn't called or texted. You replay every conversation, every moment, trying to figure out what you did wrong. Let me free you right now. You didn't do anything wrong by simply being yourself. The only mistake is putting your worth in someone else's hands. When you know your worth, you move differently. You stop waiting on notifications to validate you, and you start validating yourself. A man can feel when a woman is desperate for his attention, and I promise you that energy will push him further away. Men are naturally drawn to women who exude confidence, women who stand tall and know they are a blessing, not a burden. You have to shift your focus back to you. Instead of wondering what he's doing, ask yourself, what am I doing to grow, to thrive, to love myself better? When you pour that energy into yourself, you become magnetic. That kind of energy is irresistible, and it will make him stop in his tracks, realizing exactly what he's missing. Sitting by the phone is not power, it's surrendering your control. It's saying, my happiness depends on him. But when you put the phone down, get up and live your life, you're sending a silent message, I am whole with or without you. That message shakes a man to his core. You must start to see yourself as the prize. Think about it. Would a queen sit around wondering why a knight hasn't called her? Absolutely not. She has a kingdom to rule. She's too busy shining, too busy thriving, too busy living her purpose to be consumed by someone else's inconsistency. When you embrace this mindset, you become a mirror. He will see himself clearly through your confidence and independence. And when he realizes that your life doesn't revolve around him, it will light a fire inside of him. He will want to call, he will want to text, because men crave the chase. They crave the challenge of winning a woman who knows she's valuable. Your worth isn't measured by how quickly he responds to a message. Your worth is measured by how you carry yourself when no one is watching. If you let his silence make you feel small, you're handing him the power. But if you stand tall in your value, you'll watch him come running back to you, realizing he can't replace a woman like you. Remember, you set the tone. When you act like you are irreplaceable, he will treat you as such. But if you act like his attention is the prize, he will take you for granted. Flip the script. You are the blessing he needs, not the other way around. Every moment you spend waiting is a moment you could spend building yourself up. Read, grow, laugh, travel, explore. Live a life so full and vibrant that when he finally does call, you won't even feel desperate to answer. That's the kind of strength that makes a man see you in a whole new light. Men will always be drawn to a woman who moves like she doesn't need them, but chooses to allow them in her space. That's what knowing your worth does. It creates an environment where he has to step up if he wants to stay in your life. So stop waiting by the phone. Be the woman who makes him wonder what you're up to, where you are, and why he hasn't heard from you. That curiosity alone will make him reach out, because no man wants to feel like he's being left behind. When you focus on your worth, his silence stops mattering. You'll start to see that the man who truly values you won't keep you waiting, and if he does, he won't stay silent for long. Because men always pursue what they fear losing, and a woman who knows her worth is the hardest thing to lose. Pull back your energy, let him feel the distance sometimes. A man doesn't appreciate your presence until he feels your absence. When you constantly pour your energy into someone, texting first, calling first, always checking in, you train him to expect it. He becomes comfortable, even lazy, because he knows you'll always be there. The moment you pull back, he feels the shift, and that shift wakes him up. Pulling back doesn't mean playing games. It means redirecting your focus. Instead of giving all of your emotional energy to him, start giving it to yourself. This subtle change sends a powerful message without you saying a word. I will no longer overextend myself for someone who won't meet me halfway. Men are wired to respond to challenges. When everything comes easy, they take it for granted. But when a woman begins to move differently, when she stops overinvesting, it creates a void. And men hate voids. That void makes them reach out, call, text, and pursue you again. Think about it like this: if you're constantly chasing him, he never has the opportunity to miss you. Missing you is what triggers desire. Missing you is what makes him realize your value. When you're always there, he doesn't get the chance to feel that. Pulling back your energy isn't punishment, it's protection. It's protecting your heart, your peace, and your power. It's setting the tone for how you expect to be treated. If he's used to you overgiving, your sudden shift will make him stop and think. That's when he starts questioning himself, wondering why things feel different, why you're not so available anymore. You have to let him feel the distance. That space will either make him step up or reveal his true character. If he cares, he will bridge that gap quickly. If he doesn't, you'll see clearly that he wasn't meant to have access to you in the first place. When you pull back, you give yourself space to observe. Instead of reacting emotionally, you can see how he truly values you. A man's effort always speaks louder than his words. If he truly wants you in his life, he won't let that silence last. The key is to stay calm and collected. Don't announce that you're pulling back. Don't send long messages explaining why. Just move differently. Shorter responses, delayed replies, more focus on your own life. Let him feel that subtle yet powerful change. As the distance grows, his mind will start to race. He'll wonder who has your attention, what you're doing, and why you're not pouring into him like before. That uncertainty creates urgency, and urgency makes him call. Urgency makes him text. Urgency makes him act. Pulling back your energy is about reclaiming your power. It's about reminding yourself and him that your love is a privilege, not a guarantee. When he sees that privilege slipping away, he will fight to earn it back. So stop overgiving. Stop chasing. Redirect your energy back to yourself and your dreams. Watch how quickly he notices the change. Watch how fast that phone lights up with his name. Because nothing gets a man's attention faster than realizing he might be losing the woman who gave him everything. Silence is a statement, not weakness. Silence is one of the most powerful tools you can use in relationships. Too many women think that silence means weakness, that if they don't explain themselves or constantly speak up, they'll lose him. But the truth is, silence is often louder than words. It carries a message that words could never fully express. When you stop explaining, stop defending, stop overtalking, you allow him to sit with the reality of his actions. When a man does something that hurts you or disappoints you, your first instinct might be to confront him immediately, to demand answers, to pour out all of your emotions. While there's a time and place for communication, doing it too soon can actually take away your power. When you go quiet, you give him space to think, and trust me, that space will feel heavy. Men are problem solvers by nature, and silence forces them to reflect and question what went wrong. Your silence isn't about ignoring him. It's about protecting your energy. It's about refusing to waste your words on someone who isn't ready to listen. It says, I don't need to beg you to understand me. My absence will teach you what my presence once gave. That kind of strength commands respect. It makes a man realize that you are not a woman who can be taken lightly. The beauty of silence is that it creates contrast. When you're always talking, always explaining, your words start to lose their weight. But when you go silent, suddenly every action you take is magnified. He begins to notice the little things, the fact that you didn't call today, the way your texts have slowed down, the calmness in your tone when you do speak. Those small changes speak volumes. Many women are afraid of silence because it feels uncomfortable. It feels like you're doing nothing, but silence isn't passive, it's strategic. It's a way of reclaiming your space, your dignity, and your power without aggression or desperation. It's the kind of strength that makes a man stop and rethink his entire approach. When you stay quiet, you give him the opportunity to show his true self. Does he step up to fix things? Does he reach out to bridge the gap? Or does he stay comfortable in the distance? His response will reveal his intentions more clearly than any conversation ever could. Silence exposes truth. Sometimes a man needs to feel the weight of losing your voice. He needs to experience what life feels like when you're not pouring your love, attention, and energy into him. That realization can be a wake-up call that words alone could never deliver. It's in the quiet moments that his mind begins to race, his heart begins to ache, and his phone begins to reach for your number. The key is to remain calm and consistent. Don't break your silence just because you're tempted to see how he's doing. Don't rush to explain why you pulled back. Let your actions speak for themselves. That's how you teach a man to value your presence, by showing him what it feels like when it's gone. Silence also gives you clarity. It allows you to step back and evaluate the situation without emotional noise. When you're constantly engaging, it's easy to lose sight of what you truly want and deserve. But in the stillness, you can hear your own voice, your own wisdom, guiding you toward the right decision. Remember, silence is not the absence of strength, it's the presence of self-control. It's saying, I refuse to fight for a place in someone's life. If you want me there, you'll make sure I know it. That mindset shifts the entire dynamic of the relationship. It puts the responsibility back where it belongs, on him. When a man experiences your silence, it triggers something deep within him. He realizes that you are not a woman who tolerates half-hearted effort. And that realization often pushes him to act, to call, to text, to step up before it's too late. Silence becomes the loudest message you'll ever send. So don't fear the quiet, embrace it. Use it as a tool to protect your peace and command respect. Because sometimes the loudest thing you can say is nothing at all. And when he feels the weight of that silence, it will move him to reach out in ways you've never seen before. Raise your standards and watch him rise. Standards are like a roadmap for how people are allowed to treat you. If your standards are low, you'll attract low effort. If your standards are high, you'll naturally filter out anyone who isn't serious about meeting them. The moment you raise your standards, you create a new level of expectation that forces a man to rise if he wants to stay in your life. Many women fear raising their standards because they don't want to lose someone. But let me tell you, if raising your standards causes him to leave, he was never the one for you. A man who truly values you will see your standards not as demands, but as opportunities to show up and be the man you deserve. Your standards should reflect your self-worth. When you value yourself, you naturally set boundaries that protect your heart. You stop accepting crumbs and start expecting consistency, respect, and intentional effort. That shift doesn't just change how you see him, It changes how he sees you. When a man realizes that you won't settle for less, it ignites something in him. Men thrive on challenges. When you set the bar high, you inspire him to rise to the occasion. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about being clear on what you need and refusing to compromise on it. Raising your standards isn't about arrogance or entitlement. It's about self-love. It's about saying, I know what I bring to the table, and I won't let anyone treat me like I'm disposable. That level of confidence is magnetic. It draws the right man closer while pushing the wrong ones away. Sometimes a man won't realize how much he values you until he sees that you won't tolerate mediocrity. When you raise your standards, you disrupt his comfort zone. Suddenly, he has to put in effort, plan dates, communicate clearly, and show consistent action. That effort creates deeper connection and respect. Your job isn't to lower your standards so he feels comfortable. Your job is to maintain them, so he knows he's dealing with a woman of high value. When he sees that, he will either step up or step out. Either way, you win, because you're no longer wasting time on someone who can't meet your needs. Think about it. Why would a man call or text immediately? Because he knows if he doesn't, someone else will. When your standards are high, he understands that your attention isn't guaranteed. That urgency drives him to take action. Every time you accept less than you deserve, you teach him that it's okay to give you less. But when you stand firm in your standards, you teach him how to love you properly. You show him that access to you is a privilege that must be earned. Raising your standards also raises the quality of your life. It forces you to grow, to evolve, to become the best version of yourself. And when you show up as that woman, you naturally attract a man who is ready to match your energy and effort. It may feel uncomfortable at first. You may lose some people along the way, but remember, what leaves when you raise your standards was never meant to stay. What stays will rise to meet you where you are. When a man sees that you have unwavering standards, it lights a fire under him. He knows he can't coast or take you for granted. That realization will make him call, text, and pursue you with a level of consistency you've never experienced before. So raise that bar. Protect your heart. Watch how the right man rises to the challenge while the wrong ones fall away. Because when you honor yourself, you teach the world how to honor you too. Build your own life, make him chase you. One of the most attractive things a woman can have is a life so full and vibrant that no man becomes her entire world. When you build a life you love filled with passions, goals, friendships, and dreams, you become magnetic. A man can feel that energy, and it naturally draws him toward you. The mistake many women make is putting their lives on hold for a relationship. They stop pursuing their goals, they cancel plans, they give up their hobbies, all to make room for him. At first, it might seem like love, but over time it creates imbalance. He starts to feel like your happiness depends on him, and that pressure pushes him away. When you focus on building your own life, you take the pressure off the relationship. You stop waiting by the phone because you're too busy living. That independence creates a healthy dynamic where he feels inspired to be part of your world, not your entire world. A man loves a woman who has her own thing going on. When you're passionate about your career, your dreams, your personal growth, it shows him that you're not relying on him to complete you. That kind of confidence is irresistible. It makes him want to be around you more because your energy feels exciting and refreshing. Building your own life also protects you from heartbreak. When you have a strong foundation outside of the relationship, his silence doesn't destroy you. You have other things that bring you joy and purpose. That stability makes you more resilient and less likely to tolerate bad behavior. When a man sees that you're busy and fulfilled, it triggers his natural desire to chase. He'll wonder where you are, what you're doing, and who you're with. That curiosity creates urgency. He'll start calling, texting, and showing up consistently because he doesn't want to lose his place in your life. The key is balance. Don't make him the center of your universe. Make him part of a universe that's already thriving. When you do that, you create a dynamic where he has to earn his place, not assume it. Your independence is your power. It shows him that you are with him because you choose to be, not because you need to be. That choice makes your love more valuable. It tells him, I am whole on my own, and I invite you to add to my life, not define it. Building your own life also inspires him to grow. When he sees you striving for greatness, it motivates him to level up too. Your drive becomes contagious, and the relationship becomes a partnership built on mutual growth and respect. If you've been waiting for him to call or text, stop waiting and start living. Fill your days with activities that make you happy. Chase your dreams like your life depends on it. When he sees that you're thriving without him, he'll feel a powerful urge to be part of your journey. Men are naturally drawn to women who are hard to get because they're busy building something meaningful. When your life is full, he has to work harder to keep up. That effort creates deeper connection and commitment. So don't dim your light to fit into his world. Shine brightly in your own. Build a life so rich and fulfilling that he can't help but want to be part of it. Because when you focus on your growth, you won't have to chase him, he'll chase you. Use mystery to spark his curiosity. Mystery is one of the most powerful forces of attraction. When a man feels like he knows everything about you, when there's nothing left to discover, his excitement begins to fade. But when you keep a little bit of mystery, you keep him intrigued. You keep him wondering what's going on in your mind, what you're feeling, what you'll do next. That curiosity becomes a magnetic pull that makes him want to call, text, and chase you consistently. Too many women make the mistake of laying all their cards on the table too soon. They share every detail of their lives, every thought, every plan, thinking that transparency will make him love them more. While honesty is important, overexposure can kill desire. Men are hunters by nature. They crave the thrill of pursuit, the excitement of discovering layers to a woman's personality over time. Being mysterious doesn't mean being dishonest or playing games. It means holding some things back, giving him just enough to keep him interested, but never so much that he feels like there's nothing left to learn. It's about pacing the relationship and letting him earn deeper access to you as he proves himself worthy. Think about it like reading a captivating book. If you skipped to the last chapter on the first day, you'd lose interest quickly. The suspense, the unfolding story, is what keeps you turning pages. In the same way, a man needs to feel like there's more to uncover about you. That feeling keeps him coming back for more. When you're mysterious, you also maintain your power. If he knows exactly where you are, what you're doing, and who you're with at all times, there's no urgency for him to reach out. But when he's not sure, when he's left wondering, it creates a subtle tension that drives him to call and text just to stay connected to you. Mystery also gives you space to live authentically. When you're not constantly reporting every detail of your life to him, you're free to focus on yourself and your growth. That independence makes you even more attractive. It shows him that you have a rich inner world that doesn't revolve around him. Sometimes saying less is more. Instead of explaining every emotion, every decision, practice restraint. Let him notice changes in your behavior without always giving him the answer. That quiet confidence will make him lean in closer, trying to figure you out. And in that process, he'll become more invested in you. The mystery isn't about manipulation, it's about balance. It's about creating a dynamic where he feels both secure and challenged. When he knows you love and care for him, but also senses that you have a depth he hasn't fully reached yet, he'll feel motivated to keep trying. A man who feels like he has you completely figured out has no reason to chase. But a man who feels like there's always more to learn will stay engaged, curious, and attentive. That curiosity will make him call, text, and pursue you with genuine excitement. To cultivate mystery, focus on yourself. Develop hobbies, friendships, and passions outside of the relationship. Have moments, experiences, and thoughts that are just for you. When you're living a full life, you naturally become intriguing because you're not always available and you're not always predictable. Remember, mystery isn't about withholding love or playing hard to get. It's about maintaining a sense of self that keeps the relationship fresh and exciting. When you combine love with a little bit of intrigue, you create a powerful dynamic that keeps him hooked for the long term. Men are wired to seek out what they don't fully understand. When you embrace your natural mystery, you tap into that instinct. He'll find himself thinking about you constantly, wondering what you're doing, who you're with, and how he can get closer to you. That energy will push him to reach out again and again, so don't rush to reveal everything about yourself. Let him discover you like a beautiful story unfolding chapter by chapter. Because when you maintain an air of mystery, you become unforgettable and he will feel compelled to call and text you, just to stay connected to the wonder of who you are. Be the prize, not the pursuer. The greatest shift you can make in a relationship is realizing that you are the prize. Too often, women fall into the role of the pursuer, constantly chasing a man's attention, approval, and affection. But when you chase, you reverse the natural order of attraction. Men are designed to pursue, to earn, to win. When you take on that role, you strip the relationship of its balance and power. Being the prize means knowing that your presence is valuable. It means understanding that a man should be working to earn your time, your trust, and your love. When you position yourself as the prize, you create a dynamic where he feels motivated to consistently show up for you. The problem with pursuing a man is that it makes you seem too available. If he never has to work for your attention, he won't value it. It's like giving someone a trophy before they've even competed. There's no excitement, no sense of accomplishment. But when he has to pursue you, when he has to prove himself, the relationship becomes meaningful to him. Being the prize doesn't mean playing hard to get or being cold. It means standing in your worth and refusing to overextend yourself for someone who hasn't earned it. It's about letting him take the lead in pursuit while you focus on becoming the best version of yourself. When a man is truly interested, he will call, he will text, he will make plans. You don't have to beg or chase. Your job is to stay receptive and discerning. Watch his actions and allow him to reveal whether he's worthy of your time. The moment you start chasing, you flip the dynamic. He begins to see you as someone who needs him more than he needs you. That imbalance causes him to pull back, leaving you feeling even more desperate. It becomes a cycle that erodes your self-esteem and the relationship itself. When you're the prize, you move differently. You don't sit by the phone waiting for him to reach out. You don't rearrange your life to fit his schedule. You live fully, knowing that the right man will make room for you in his life without you having to force it. Being the prize also means setting boundaries. You don't tolerate disrespect or inconsistency. You don't allow someone to come and go as they please. When you hold firm to your boundaries, you teach him how to treat you. And a man who truly values you will rise to meet those expectations. The beauty of being the prize is that it naturally triggers a man's instinct to chase. When he feels like he has to earn you, he becomes more invested. He'll call more often, text more consistently, and put in the effort to keep you close because he doesn't want to lose you. This isn't about ego or manipulation, it's about balance. Relationships thrive when both people bring their best selves to the table. When you focus on your growth and let him do the chasing, you create a dynamic of mutual respect and admiration. Men don't fall in love with women who do everything for them. They fall in love with women who inspire them to be better, to try harder, to reach higher. When you're the prize, you naturally inspire that kind of love. So stop chasing, stop overgiving, stand tall in your worth and let him step into his role as the pursuer. Because when you know you're the prize, you'll never have to beg for a call or a text. He'll be the one chasing you, desperate to prove that he's worthy of your heart. Stay calm, stay confident, and let God handle the rest. There comes a point when you've done everything you can do. You've set your boundaries, raised your standards, and focused on your growth. At that point, the best thing you can do is stay calm, stay confident, and trust that God will handle the rest. When you panic, when you obsess over why he hasn't called or texted, you send out anxious energy that pushes him away. Men can feel when a woman is desperate for validation, and that energy makes them pull back. But when you remain calm and centered, you create an atmosphere of peace that draws him closer. Staying calm doesn't mean you don't care. It means you refuse to let someone else's behavior control your emotions. You understand that your worth isn't tied to his actions. Whether he calls or not, you remain grounded in who you are. Confidence is the key. When you're confident, you know that the right man will always pursue you. You don't chase, you don't beg, and you don't compromise your values. That kind of strength is deeply attractive. It makes a man respect you and desire you even more. Sometimes the silence isn't a punishment, it's divine protection. God may be keeping him quiet because he's working on something better for you. What feels like rejection might actually be redirection. Trust that every delay, every unanswered message is part of a bigger plan for your life. When you try to control everything, you create stress and frustration. But when you surrender to God's timing, you find peace. You realize that what's meant for you will never pass you by. If he's truly meant to be in your life, no amount of distance or silence will keep him away. Staying calm also allows you to think clearly. When you're emotional, you might make impulsive decisions, like sending a long, angry text or calling repeatedly. But when you're calm, you can respond with grace and wisdom. That poise commands respect. Men are drawn to women who exude inner peace. When he sees that you're not shaken by his actions, it makes him wonder what gives you that strength. That curiosity can draw him closer, compelling him to call or text just to figure you out. Faith plays a crucial role here. When you trust God with your heart, you don't need to manipulate situations or force outcomes. You can rest in the assurance that he is guiding you toward what's best. That trust creates a glow of confidence that no man can ignore. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. Let him feel your absence. Let him experience the consequences of his silence. And let God work behind the scenes to bring clarity and alignment. When you stay calm and confident, you send a message to the universe. I am ready for love, but I will not settle for less than I deserve. That message will draw the right man to you at the right time. If he truly values you, he will call, he will text, he will make the effort, and if he doesn't, trust that God is making room for someone who will. Either way, you win because you refuse to lower your standards or lose your peace. So take a deep breath, release the need to control the outcome, stand firm in your worth, and let God handle the rest. Because when you trust in divine timing, everything that's meant for you will arrive without you having to chase it. He will call and text you immediately now after you listen to this, ladies. Listen carefully. This entire message wasn't about getting a man to just pick up his phone and call or text you. It was about transforming you into the kind of woman who never has to beg for love, attention, or respect. Because when you embody strength, confidence, and grace, you become unforgettable. When you know your worth, you stop sitting around waiting for someone to validate you. You rise up, you shine, and you remind yourself that you are the prize. When you pull back your energy, you give him the space to realize what he stands to lose. That distance forces him to reflect, to feel the emptiness your presence used to fill. Your silence becomes your power. Instead of wasting words on someone who isn't listening, you let your absence speak. That quiet strength shakes him in a way no argument ever could. And when you raise your standards, you create a level of expectation that forces him to either step up or step aside. Either way, you protect your heart and your peace. When you build a life you love, you stop waiting for someone else to make you happy. You fill your days with joy, growth, and purpose. That kind of independence is magnetic. It makes him want to be part of your world, not define it. And when you add a touch of mystery, you keep him intrigued. You become a story he never wants to stop reading, a song he never wants to stop playing. But most importantly, you must be the prize, not the pursuer. You are the blessing, you are the gift. When you stand firm in that truth, he will naturally chase you. You won't have to send double texts, over-explain, or beg for attention. His actions will speak louder than words, and he will call, he will text, he will show up because he knows your value. And through it all, stay calm, stay confident, and let God handle the rest. There's only so much you can control. The rest is in divine hands. If he's meant for you, nothing will keep him away. If he's not, no amount of chasing will make him stay. Trust that God's plan is always bigger than your pain, and his timing is always perfect. So today, make a decision. Stop shrinking yourself, stop chasing, and stop waiting by the phone. Step into your power. Live boldly, love yourself fiercely, and watch how everything around you begins to shift. Because when a woman stands in her worth, when she radiates confidence and faith, a man feels it. He feels it in his soul. And he will call, he will text, and he will do whatever it takes to stay connected to a woman he knows he can never replace. This isn't just about him reaching out, it's about you reaching higher. Higher in love, higher in standards, higher in faith. And when you do that, you won't just get a phone call. You'll get a life filled with love, respect, and the kind of relationship you truly deserve. So hold your head high, Queen. Your worth was never in his hands, it was always in yours. And when you finally embrace that truth, you'll never wait for a text or a call again. Because you'll know that the right man will never make you wait to feel valued.